Welcome back, fam, to another video. So today we just entered season 6 and 245, as well as any server that's above 198 up to the new Taiwan servers as well. We just got some season 6 heroes dropped, and the most popular ones that everybody's going for is Scipio as well as uh, Zhao Yun. So we'll be going over some things that I've learned from other players as well as myself, just through personal studies, so to say, on these marches. But let's go ahead and dive into the Miyamoto march. As you can see, I'm just leveling these guys up on the background just due to that Ramses is my main lineup. Now, going in, we're going to open up some rings here. These are all of the rings that can be compatible with the Miyamoto March, running Scipio and Lagerta. So first things first, you would like all of these heroes to be 3 stars, especially Miyamoto here because he boosts the next highest might hero with their damage. And so I'm personally working on that. But Scipio will also need to be 3 stars. That's when he adds extra damage to the commander, and Lagertha is doing the same thing. Now, with the ring setup, I've chose to go the cheaper route. Excuse me. Then this is going to be the Ring of Tulip on Miyamoto, and Tranquil Water on Scipio, and Ring of Bear on Lagertha. I use Skyward Knight personally on my Ramses March, same with Lofty Mountain. Lofty Mountain would be placed on Lagertha if you choose to have this ring on your march. Skyward Knight is going to go on Scipio. And another ring that would be good for Miyamoto still would be the Ring of Bear that you can place on him. And then if you don't want to do, let's say, Skyward Knight, for example, just because once this march gets going, you don't necessarily need Skyward Knight besides the extra damage boost. However, if you don't want another legendary ring in the lineup, you can opt in for the Ring of Bear, or excuse me, the Ring of Deer. The Ring of Deer will buff your random player's damage, taking from the enemy commander's damage. So to buff one of these heroes here, Miyamoto, Scipio, or Lagertha in this lineup, and then increase their damage for a period of time. And this would be beneficial because you have Miyamoto who deals damage and Lagertha who deals a good amount of damage. Another ring option for this lineup is the Ring of the Badger. This is mainly for damage reduction. The base stat line that it will provide as a ring in general, but also if there happen to be a lot of Mulans or archers on the field, Alparslan, or even just straight up Lubus, because this Ring of Badger will help for the first 18 seconds of battle that you're in and take away that secondary strike skill damage as well as active skill damage. So if you're fighting Lubus and other swordsmen, this will be a good ring in addition to have. Now, these are just, my recommendations and observations from what I've seen. Obviously, you have the Effulgent Sun. I didn't list that here just because I don't personally like that ring. You need it to be at least level 30 in order to have it be efficient. And so that is an expensive ring. Moving on to gems. Gems, health all around on the helmet, might all around on the arms, and we have an active skill damage increase for Miyamoto and also on Lagertha, and then we have a healing gem on Scipio. And we'll get over to the skills in just a moment. Now, if you don't have enough heal or health gems to go in the helmet slot, you can opt in for troop capacity. You can place some attack gems here on Miyamoto, also place in some defense gems on Scipio if you so choose. If you are running low on the might gems, you can opt in to put some all attribute gems on Scipio. And you want to always have your commander have the best gems on his lineup, especially when it comes to his damage that can be being dealt. So that's why Miyamoto is always going to have that might on him. And moving on to our skills here for this lineup. We have High Spirit, Fierce Charge on Miyamoto, One Man Army, Bloodthirst for Scipio, Raging Bloodline, and High Spirit for Lagerta. These are pretty much what the game recommends to have. And their adornments. I would go Wavebreaker personally on Miyamoto, and then Resistance for both Scipio and Lagerta. And there's that. Hopefully this will help you adjusting to the new hero Scipio. He brings a lot to the Miyamoto lineup, and we can go a lot more into depth as well. If you would like me to go more in depth on Miyamoto specifically for this March, I can, and I'll be more than happy to make another video for you guys. Now moving on to Lubu. Let's see here. Here we go. Lubu, we are going to have a couple options here. We have the new hero Zhao Yun. So he brings an amazing addition to this lineup. Now, personally, I don't have Timur leveled up very high with his stars, and to me, he just didn't seem as efficient or beneficial in keeping him. So I'm going to be running my Attila, which I'll show in this lineup here. I'm mainly going to be rally focused personally. But for open field, this is the march that is known to dominate kind of the open field, is Lubu, Timur, and Zhao Yun. You can have Zhao Yun be the commander if he is 5 stars. This is due to the extra benefits that he receives at his 5th star, as well as he provides a damage reduction when his commander skill pops off. If you do play Zhao Yun as the commander, you want Lubu to be the second in the second middle slot here, and Timur on the end. Now, for Attila players that are going to be like me, you run Attila in the middle. I'm going to run Lubu, Attila, Zhao Yun. And you want Zhao Yun to always come before Lubu. So in this case, Zhao Yun is in the 3rd slot, which will then buff the next hero, which the turn starts over, and it is Lubu's turn again. So Zhao Yun ends up buffing Lubu, which is what you want. And let's see here. Let's move on to some rings, shall we? So some good ring choices for this lineup, and is the Ring of Daisy, of course, on Lubu. Ring of the Night Wolf. This is kind of essential for this and very March specific for this March. And you would place him on Zhao Yun, or Ring of the Night Wolf on Zhao Yun, or whichever one of these heroes here on the 2nd or 3rd slot has a higher might stats currently at this moment. Currently, my Lubu and Zhao Yun are very close in might, and I just opted in to just go ahead and move it over to Zhao Yun because I plan on still leveling him up, as well as I need to get the final ticks on Attila here. Ring of the Clover. I opted to pick the Ring of the Clover for this March because I'm mainly sending it in rallies, and so having Trinkle Water on this would be beneficial only for the first 18 seconds. I would like to stay much longer in the rallies, and so that's why I've opted in for the Ring of the Clover, because it has a chance to activate every 6 seconds for a damage reduction bonus that will last 3 seconds. Ring of the Bear can also be used in this march. You would place Ring of the Bear on Attila, and it would just further, again, buff Lubu. Lubu is already known to be squishy, so Ring of the Bear is also an amazing choice just because it does a direct damage boost to the commander and Lubu himself. Tranquil Water is mainly used in open field battles with this march, whether you're running Lubu Attila Zhao Yun or Lubu Timur Zhao Yun. Tranquil Water is normally placed on the middle hero here, and just due to that high damage reduction for the first 18 seconds of the battle. So pretty much you want the Lubu and Zhao Yun to deal as much damage as possible within that first 18 seconds. So once it comes off, the enemy is already too low to come back and win. Moving on to some gems here. Okay, so I have quite a different few gems here. Let's get rid of Timur's gems for right now. Health gems all around. These are going to be the best gems for your heroes and for your lineups, is increasing their health percentage. Now, if you don't have enough health gems because you're using them on a different march as well, you can use troop capacity and also the troop attack. You can use those in place, but my priority personally would be health gems. Might for the arms on all of the heroes because they all have might bonuses. You want to make sure that their might is as high as it can be to deal that maximum damage output. So if you don't have extra might gems laying around enough to spare for all three heroes here within this troop, use all attributes first. That way you can buff the hero here. If you don't have enough all attribute gems, go first to armor gems and then defense gems. For the chest pieces here, you want secondary strike on Lubu, increased troop normal attack on Attila, and passive gems on Zhao Yun. Now for Timur, let's bring him back here, shall we? Okay, now you can see the face of Timur here. Yeah, again, health and might, plus healing gems at the end, just because he adds some additional healing with his skill, and he doesn't deal much damage, unfortunately, but he can heal, and that would be my recommendation for the gems to equip there. Let's move on to some skills now. Lubu, Timur, and Zhao Yun. Okay, so we have the weak spot attack and Ripper Tiger for Lubu. You guys should know this. We've been playing Lubu for 4 seasons now. We're coming up on 4 seasons. Tempered Steel and Critical Insight on Timur, as well as Dragon Manifestation and Pay in Blood on Zhao Yun. And for Attila, for those playing Attila, you want Armor Piercer and Critical Insight. Armor Piercer also helps save those legendary skill scrolls. That way you can further progress your other 2 heroes in the lineup first and get that maximum damage reduction. Now for adornments, I don't know why, it wasn't working for uploading Lubu's adornments on here, but his adornments, right, that's what they called. Yes, the adornments on there, you want either Shadow Chaser or Cloud Piercer for Lubu, since he is the main damage dealer here, unless you opt in for Zhao Yun to be commander. But when you're in rallies, it doesn't matter who's commander, really, because the commander skill can't be activated. For the other 2 heroes, you want Resistance and Resistance. you want the maximum damage reduction as possible for your troop, because the less damage you take, obviously, the more time you can stay in the fight and the more time you can stay within the rally. That's what you want. There are 1% gems. Boiling Blood for Lubu. Chain Slayer, I believe, is for the middle hero here, either Timur or Attila. And then Rally would be for Zhao Yun. Now, don't quote me 100% on that. I'll get back to you in the comments. But it's either Chainslayer in the middle hero here or on Zhao Yun, and vice versa for the Rally adornment. These specific adornments are all 1% chance, so super, super, super hard to obtain, as well as they don't really provide damage reduction. Boiling Blood provides some healing, some little bit of healing. However, with what these three are doing is maximizing the damage output of your commander hero, which is Lubu. And when they're all placed together, you can have a great outcome of damage. However, it also takes away that damage reduction that you could have had from using resistance adornments. But these are my opinions, my thoughts on these new heroes, these two special new heroes in Season 6 that everybody's looking forward to. Can't wait to see what's happening here in the Stellar Glory season. Just particularly because there's Taiwan servers everywhere now. Only in the brackets of 197 and up. And we personally have one of the more active, I guess I would say, more active Taiwan servers, just because of their activity levels already. They're triple everybody's scores, almost, already for the Stellar Glory, just based on their activity. So we'll keep in tune for that, as well as hit me up in the comments or on my Discord at Samwise5155. That is Samwise5155. 2 5s at the end there. But more than happy to help you guys, and also if you feel like that I've missed something, help me out too, because I want to make sure that I spreading out the right information. I want to help everybody be able to be battle ready and be the best that they can with everything, and equipping the correct gear from the beginning, rather than having to flip-flop some things back and forth and purchase new rings or swap out skills and do skill resets, because that gets annoying. But thanks for watching and tuning in, guys. Enjoy this beginning of the new season, and we're all going to be finding out who we're going to be playing in GEE this weekend, or right before the weekend. So that's exciting, and stay tuned for more content, and peace out. We'll get back to you next time, fam. Thanks.